I'm Annie Sibonney. I've worked as a chef and traveled the world and found the best way to get to know a place is by bringing people together around a table of great food. I've eaten my way through so many countries, and when I got to Spain, I knew I'd found my culinary soulmate. They're as crazy about food as I am. Barcelona, you could fill a lifetime with everything it has to offer. But what if you only had one day to cram in all of the must-sees, must-dos, and must-eats? Well, I'm not promising you any rest, and your feet might hurt. But I do promise you'll be filled with great food and great memories, because after all, this is Barcelona. Success hasn't spoiled the Barceloneta. In spite of its post-Olympic popularity, this charming seaside neighborhood has remained largely true to itself. And you can still find many restaurants that maintain their culinary identity, like the Suquet de Almirall. Quim Marquès and Manel Marquès, no relation, run the Suquet de l'Almirall, an amazing seafood restaurant that specializes in the dish of the same name.
¿Quieres venir conmigo a preparar un suquet?
Me encantaría. I would love to.
Por favor.
Sí?
Claro. ¿Vamos?
Okay. This is a very typical maritime dish. The fishermen used to make this dish with ingredients that wouldn't go bad on the boat. For example, this bread here has been toasted in olive oil, but it's meant to replicate the dry bread that they used to have on the boats. We also have hazelnuts, some saffron, and garlic.
Y ponemos un poquito de perejil. ¿Lo podías hacer tú?
¿Sí?
Sí,
¿Lo voy a
claro.
hacer yo? I love these kind of preparations because it really gives you a chance to use a little bit of muscle and just get your hands really involved. Now we can start with the rest of the dish. Some extra virgin olive oil going in.
Las patatas.
Now we're going to add a very basic fish stock. And the fish stock was made by adding some crab, some seafood, and of course these choricero peppers. It's a typical pepper here in Spain and it adds a beautiful fruity flavor and aroma to the dish. Now we don't want this to be soupy because when we add the picada, the bread and the hazelnuts will help to thicken this sauce. The final dish should have a consistency that is slightly thick, never watery. You can see how this broth is bubbling so nicely. These cast iron pans are incredible to achieve a very high heat. We will add the fish now, and we'll start with the hake fish. You'll notice that we're adding raw pieces of fish to this dish, and no salt has been added yet at all, not even in this fish stock. We'll add clams, some calamari, and finally, the shrimps. Qué lujo, ¿no? Que es para tener estos ingredientes al lado del mar.
Una maravilla. En el Mediterráneo que tenemos un pescado que es fantástico. Y aquí a un minuto de la llegada del barco, que lo tienes fresco, impecable cada día.
Claro. Now we're going to add the picada that I made. ¿Cuántas veces has preparado este plato?
Incontable.
And the final magic of this dish is seawater, which is, of course, what the fishermen traditionally used. The seawater would salt their dish. All we're waiting for now is for these potatoes to finish cooking through. And as soon as the potatoes are finished, so is the dish. It couldn't be more simple than this. Let's go to the table?
Yes,
okay.
go to the table.
Wonderful.
Vamos a empezar por el vino.
Okay.
Esto es un vino blanco de Aleña.
Muy
Por lo
bien.
menos vamos a brindar por el Suquet.
Salud.
Salud.
So wonderfully crisp.
Pero fíjate que es un plato muy humilde,
Sí.
muy sencillo.
You can see how the picada really thickens the sauce, not just flavors the sauce, but gives it such a wonderful texture. It smells amazing. Kim goes directly for the broth. He's actually testing our picada that we made. It's good?
Fantástico.
Yeah? Wonderful. That is so rich.
La patata queda muy...
Fíjate que a veces la patata, que decía Manel, es más buena, cogido todos los aromas.
Wow. Sí.
Y es muy, muy buena.
This broth is so layered and complex. You can taste every single ingredient that's gone into here. A vosotros. Muchísimas gracias.
Salud.
I've been to Barcelona so many times, and I'll never run out of new places to see and eat and experience. Every trip brings new favorites. Look at this. But even if you only have one day to spend in Barcelona, if you spend it wisely, you can still feel like you've tasted it all.